Hello, hello, hello. Hi, guys. Once more, you're welcome again to my channel. Thank you so much for tuning in. It's been a while, I've not been on this platform because a lot has been going on with me behind the cameras. But I thought to thank God, He made it possible for me to be here again with you guys. So, thank you so much for tuning in. Hope you guys have been keeping safe. Hope you guys are okay. And I want to say thank you to those of you who reached out to me to find out what was going on. Like, girl, what is happening to you? I want to say thank you so much for your love, for your concern. You guys have proven that it's not just a channel, it is my YouTube family. Thank you so much. I appreciate your concern. And for all of you guys, I want to say thank you for sticking around despite the fact that I have not been there. You guys have been there for me. Thank you so much for all your prayers. Thank you for your love and everything. So, guys, I've got something to share with you today, and I guess you can tell already from the title of this video what I'm about to discuss with you today. If not, I'll be discussing with you today, like basically, I'll be sharing with you my personal experience with secondary infertility. But before I start, I would like to say that we are all different. Our bodies react to situations differently. So, yeah. So I'll start by, telling you what secondary infertility is all about. Trust me when I tell you, I did not first of all know what secondary infertility was until I became, a part of it. Yeah. So secondary infertility is a situation where you've had a child before without actually, taking any medication, without actually struggling. You just had your baby. And it is now termed secondary infertility because maybe you start trying for your second child and it becomes so difficult, it becomes so hard. You're trying for more than 6 months, a year and a half, two, just name it, but nothing is happening. That is when it is termed secondary infertility. And secondary infertility might be because, a lot of things can cause secondary infertility. It could be that you've got scar tissues. It could be that you've got maybe some diseases. It could be caused by a lot of things. And there are some people who are suffering from secondary infertility, who basically don't have any problems with their system, but they are struggling for a baby. They are struggling to fall pregnant, but it's not just happening. So, guys, today I'll be sharing with you my experience with secondary infertility, my personal experience. So, sorry. So, with my situation, it all started, I had my first child without any medication, no struggle. As a matter of fact, I had my first child 9 months after my wedding. So I did not struggle at all. I did not know you even had to struggle to have a baby, if you understand what I mean. So what happened was the initial plan between my husband and I was that, okay, we're going to have our second child 2 years after. So I knew it was just going to happen the way it happened with my first. Little did I know that it was not going to be that easy. So, guys, 2 years after I've had my first child, I basically started trying for my second child, but it was not happening. I tried for about 3 months and nothing happened. I was like, okay, maybe it's because I've been for 2 years. I cannot maybe memorize, what I'm doing. Maybe I'm not getting it right or something. I did not really bother about it. So I tried again for another 3 months. That was making it 6 months already, and nothing was happening. That was when I became a bit concerned. I was like, but girl, what is happening? I did not, actually try for my first. It just happened. So what is happening with this time around? So after 6 months, I decided I was going to see a doctor. I went and saw my doctor and I explained everything to my doctor, and she said, okay, she was going to run some tests and just to make sure if I was ovulating, if there was no endometritis, something like that, if there were no, diseases or something that could possibly, make it, hard for me to fall pregnant. I was like, okay, fine. So she did those tests and everything came back negative, showing that I was ovulating. There was no issues with me at all. So I was a bit worried, and I said, what am I about my husband? And she said she could do a semen analysis test for him. So he actually did a semen analysis test for my husband, and he came back perfect. He was perfectly all right, no issues with him at all. And she advised that I should maybe go back home and keep trying, that sometimes it happens like that. I should, try to get my mind off it, not to think about it all the times and things like that. I should just give it a try again for say 6 months, and then let's see how it goes. So at that point in time, guys, I won't lie to you, it got me so worried, and even more worried than before, because I was like, okay, everything is okay with me. They've done all the tests, and everything came back negative. So what then could be the issue? Why am I not falling pregnant? So I got so worried. So when I came back, I kept trying. We kept trying, and for another 3 months, and nothing happened. And I decided to just, go into a lot of reading about fertility, what could possibly be the problem for someone to, not to fall pregnant after they've had a child before, and things like that. So I was doing a lot of research, a lot of readings, and things like that. And one thing, one thing that I could not do, trust me, was to get my mind off it. When you're on this journey of trying to conceive, trying to fall pregnant, girl, it is not easy for you to try and get your mind off it, because just the fact that at the end of every month your period is there, it reminds you of the fact that you are not able to conceive, you haven't fallen pregnant. So it was really, really difficult for me to get my mind off it, because the doctor tried to make me to understand that at times when you think about it too much, it kind of like affects your hormones, and because of that, it makes it hard for you to actually fall pregnant. But trust me, girl, I could not get my mind off it. Now, fast forward, we tried again for another 6 months. That's making it a year already, and nothing happened. Meanwhile, within that time, I was doing a lot of reading, and I was also talking to my mother-in-law, just sharing my thoughts with her, how I feel, and things like that, how I was feeling at that time, because she's a very lovely person. She was also advising me. She said to me, you know what, when I got married, I had to stay for 4 years before I actually conceived your husband. So sometimes it happens. So she said to me, she was, just reassuring me that she was going to, try and do something to help me out. So while I was reading, I fell on this article that, that says something about fallopian tube, that it could be that your fallopian tube could be blocked. And if your fallopian tubes are blocked, that could be a possibility that, that can make it hard basically for you to fall pregnant. So I had to call my doctor again for the second time. I said, I've been, trying again for, another 6 months, but yet nothing has happened. So I said to her, I said, I just read some article that, that made mention of fallopian tubes. It could be blocked. So I just told her I just wanted my fallopian tubes to be checked, so I should be sure nothing is wrong with my fallopian tube. So she said that is very, very possible. So she had to refer me to a fertility clinic to actually see a gynecologist, to see a fertility doctor, basically. So she gave me a referral. She reassured me. She referred me to one of the best clinics, one of the best gynecologists. She reassured me that he was going to handle my situation very, very well. So when I went and saw that gynecologist, she said, he said he was first of all going to just do a normal ultrasound to check my womb, yeah, to actually see if it is okay or anything like that. So he did that. That was just a normal ultrasound. So he did that, and everything was good. So he suggested to me that he was going to do a procedure called HICOZ procedure. I don't know if you guys have ever heard about HICOZ procedure. If not, just Google it. You're gonna know what it means. It's literally a procedure where they kind of insert a tiny tube into your cervix, and then through that tube they're gonna like insert a dye. So the dye is like a liquid. It's like an ink where they insert through the tube. It literally just goes up and then comes out. So the procedure is actually to find out, if your your fallopian tubes are blocked or not. So I actually went for that procedure. So on that day, I went for that procedure. That procedure, yeah. I went for that procedure, and they inserted the dye into my cervix. They inserted the ink, and you could basically see from the screen what was going on. Like you can see the first of all start with the the left fallopian tube. They insert the ink. It fill up and went round, and then flushes back out smoothly without any problem. And I kind of like figure out that when it was time for them to do it for my right fallopian tube, it kind of inserted the ink. It went up, fill up. It went up, but it kind of like dangled a little bit. It did not actually flow smoothly like it did with my left fallopian tube. So from that point, I just understood that something might be wrong with my right fallopian tube, but I could not figure out what the problem was. So after the procedure, it's a procedure where you kind of like get your result there and then. Like after the procedure, the doctor just tells you what the problem is. So after the procedure, the doctor asked me if I saw anything. So I explained to the doctor, I saw the left fallopian tube. It went up and it came back down smoothly. But for my right fallopian tube, I kind of like figured it out. Like it was not the same. The ink did not actually flow smoothly. So the doctor was like, wow, it means you actually saw something. So the doctor explained to me that actually my left fallopian tubes is very clean, very clear, but there seemed to be an issue with my right fallopian tube. And I was like, yeah, what could be the issue? So he said, excuse me. So he said, with my right fallopian tube, it seems like it's kind of wrapped around the anterior part of my uterus. Guys, I did not understand what that meant, but that was what the doctor told me. So he said my right fallopian tube is wrapped along the anterior part of my uterus. So I asked the doctor that could that be the reason why I am unable to fall pregnant actually. So the doctor was like, not really, but because there are a lot of women out there who have got just one fallopian tube and they are making babies. So it is possible for me to fall pregnant with just one fallopian tube, but yeah, that could be a reason as well, but not like fully a reason. So somehow it could be, but not really like a primary reason for me not being able to fall pregnant or something like that. So he said I should just go back home, try again. That some women are lucky to fall pregnant after they've done this procedure, that is this high cozy procedure. Just the fact that they insert the tube, the ink, maybe kind of like wash out a bit of death that could be there. So women are lucky to fall pregnant after that particular procedure. So I was just keeping my fingers crossed, hoping that I was going to fall pregnant after that procedure. I was just believing God. So my husband and I, we went back home. We kept trying. We tried again for another, 6 months and even more than 6 months. That was almost about 8 months that we tried, almost getting to a year. So yeah, that was making it to 2 years already. Yeah, that the secondary infertility went on for 2 years. So that was about 7 months after. I called the doctor and I said, Doc, do you know what? It is not happening. In fact, it has not happened. So the doctor said, okay, that the last procedure he was going to do for me was a procedure called laparoscopy. Another procedure. So basically, this procedure is a procedure where they were going to like bore 2 holes around my below my my navel. Yeah, 2 holes where they were going to like insert a camera, and that camera was going to help them to have a clearer view of my of my reproductive system. So there they could clearly see what the problem was, like to clearly see my fallopian tube, because with the first procedure the doctor made me to understand that he could not really say for sure if what caused, if my right fallopian tube was wrapped along the anterior part. So this laparoscopy procedure that he was going to do was, kind of like was going to give him a clearer picture of what the problem was. And if really there was a problem, he was going to help me maybe do some flushes, flush it out. If there was anything, they were going to repair. Maybe if there was a scar tissue or something like that, they were going to like try to fix it, and I was going to fall pregnant after that. It was not like for sure, but the probability that I could fall pregnant after that laparoscopy procedure, that's the second procedure, was higher than the first. So I said to him, yeah, I am ready, because when you're on this journey of trying to conceive, girl, you are ready to do anything. Yeah, if it's what is going to help you fall pregnant, you are ready to do it. So I was ready to do it. So I told him I was ready. So it was a procedure that it really takes time, because there are many millions of people out there waiting. They are on a queue. So he told me it was not going to be easy. I just had to be patient and wait. If I'm lucky, I'm going to be booked in very early. If not, I could wait for 6 months and even a year just to, get into the queue, because there are a lot of people out there in the queue. So he actually booked me for that appointment. And luckily, 3 months after, I received a letter that I've been booked for that appointment for the 19th of February 2020, that I was supposed to have that procedure. So just the fact that I was already booked for that procedure, I was very pleased. My mind was settled, because deep down in me, I knew I was going to fall pregnant after that procedure. But I was a bit nervous, because it had to do with, like, it was kind of like a minor surgery, because they were kind of like, they were going to bore two holes. If I don't know if you've ever heard about laparoscopy procedure. If not, just Google it. You're gonna know what that means. They're literally gonna bore two holes and insert a camera through those holes, and then see exactly what the problem, like, very clearly. So I was a bit nervous about the fact that, because I've had a C-section before, so getting to go for another procedure, just because, yeah, I wanted to fall pregnant. I was a bit nervous about that, but I had to come over it, because I just said to myself, if it was going to make me to fall pregnant, then so be it. So when I was booked for that procedure, I kind of like had a settled mind, because I knew, okay, I was already booked for that procedure, and thank God he made it possible for it to be so quick. I was 3 months. Doctor was like, you're so lucky, because some people had to wait. Some people will wait for about 6 months and even a year just to get an appointment. But in my case, it was different, because 3 months after I was booked for that procedure, I had my appointment booked already, like I said, for the 19th of February 2020. So we came back home. So he said he was just going to do one more procedure for my husband. He was going to redo his semen analysis test, just to confirm and to be sure there was no problems with him, even though he's done it before with my GP. So he did it again for him, and it came back the same. Perfect, stronger than ever. So basically nothing was wrong with him. So I just came back home. I was still doing a lot of research and reading what laparoscopy was all about. What is my possibility? Is it going to make me fall pregnant? Actually, I was just reading other people's story, consoling myself. There were a lot of people out there that gave their testimonies that they fell pregnant after they've had that procedure. So I was kind of like keeping my fingers crossed, just hoping and believing God it was going to happen for me. So meanwhile, I was waiting for that procedure. That was I was waiting for that procedure. I just said to myself, okay, maybe I should a thought just came to me. I just believe God just whispered that to me. Maybe I should just change my way of living, my way of life, like what I eat, my diet. I should just get into weight loss journey and things like that, because by then I'd put on so much weight. After I had my first child, I put on so much weight. I was just eating, at times I eat for, when I feel like I'm kind of like, excuse me, down emotionally, I just eat just to like console myself. So I'd put on so much weight by then. So I just said to myself, I'm just going to get into a weight loss journey. Maybe it's going to help me as well, get my mind off it, like the doctor said. Even though by then I had a settled mind, at least that I've got that appointment. But my mind was not completely settled. So I just had to do something for me that was going to help me to get my mind off thinking about falling pregnant. So I just decided I was going to start, this weight loss journey. because I remember with my G when I saw my GP, I just asked her the question that what could possibly what some are some of the reasons why it could be difficult for someone to fall pregnant. He said weight could be an issue. If you've put on so much weight, it could be a problem. Falling pregnant and things like that. So I just decided to go into a weight loss journey, and I started that weight loss journey so seriously. I was so serious. I started doing intermittent fasting. I was doing a lot of exercise. Basically, I just went to the gym and registered myself for a year. So I basically just went to the gym and registered myself for a year. And I was doing intermittent fasting. I was watching my weight, controlling what I ate, and things like that. I was so serious with it that before I started that weight loss journey, I was weighing about 84 kilograms. That was too much. You had to see me that time. I was like, I was fluffy. So I started with that weight, 84 kilograms, and I was so serious with my weight loss journey. That was, I started the weight loss journey January, the 1st of January. And before the end of January, I've lost about 10 kilograms already. So when I went for my pre-appointment, because normally before you go for that procedure, you go for a pre-appointment where they do some blood tests, they run some blood tests just to make sure you're okay before you actually go for the procedure, for the operation. So I went, the doctor was like, wow, what is going on with you? I was like, yeah, I'm into a weight loss journey. The doctor kind of like, very good. It is really, really good, because from 84 kilograms to say 74, to 74, that was quite a lot in a period of just a month. It was very, very good. So I lost 10 kilograms within 1 month. So I kept doing that, and I remember this day my mother-in-law called me and said she's spoken to one lady, and that lady promised she was going to help. So I said, what is she going to do? So she said the lady was going to like give me some herbs, some traditional herbs for me to drink. So basically the herb was going to like help me cleanse my system and things like that, just to wash my systems in my system in case there is dead or anything like that. So I said I welcome any kind of treatment if it's just going to make me fall pregnant, or yeah, I welcome it. So the issue now was the fact that how was it going to get to me was a problem, because basically she's in Cameroon and she had to send that to me. So thank God there is always God in my situation. God has never slept when it comes to my situation. So thank God there was this friend of mine who had her kids leaving Cameroon to come to the UK. So I just profited. I just benefited from that situation. I just said, okay, she had to send those herbs through those kids. So I received those herbs on the 20th of December that I actually received those herbs. So I started drinking those herbs as soon as I got them. So as I was drinking those herbs, I was doing my exercise, I was controlling my diet and things like that. So that was basically December. January, I lost that much weight, and I was preparing to go for my procedure on the 19th of February to go for that laparoscopy procedure. And I kept doing that, and I remember the lady, my mother-in-law told me, the lady said by the time I finished drinking those herbs, I was gonna fall pregnant. The lady was so sure about it. I was like, how is she sure? You're like, well, yeah. So she was really sure about that. So I was supposed to take the herb for say 2 months, like that December and January. I can remember I finished drinking it on the 1st of January, of January, because I believe I had visitors in my house, and they were like, girl, we are shocking, we're drinking, you're not drinking, why are you drinking? I was like, girl, you guys cannot understand. I was basically drinking those herbs. I was just drinking it like tea every morning, a glass in the morning and a glass in the evening. I go to the gym, I exercise, I watch what I eat and things like that. So I finished the last quantity of those herbs on the 1st of January 2020. And I remember my period came December, my period came again in January, and February I decided I was going into a 3 days water fast, because I've always done water fast before. So I decided I was going to do a 3 days water fast. And the main, objective of that 3 days water fast was to lose weight. So I started that 3 days water fast January the 7th of January, because my birthday is on the 10th of March. So I started that fast on the 10th, on the 7th of January. On the 7th of, on the 7th of February that I started that water fast. And I did the water fast. The second day, the third day, I did that water fast. So I break my water fast, and the day I was supposed to break my water fast, that was the third day. I came back home from work that evening. I was feeling so tired. I was feeling very weak, and I kind of like said to my husband, like, babe, I'm feeling, so tired, so weak. And he said to me, remember, you are on a water fast 3 days, you've not eaten anything. So that could be the problem. I was like, okay, yeah, I'm sure that is the reason why, I'm feeling the way I'm feeling right now. And guys, before then, at times my period will be late and things like that, because I was thinking about falling pregnant a lot. So for my situation, it kind of like affected my hormones somehow. Some months, there were some months where I will be late. My period will be late for, say, 3 days, 4 days. And I would be thinking maybe I'm falling pregnant, only for me to go and do a pregnancy test and it comes back negative. So I had a lot of pregnancy test strips at home. Trust me, if you went to my bathroom, you will see a lot of pregnancy test strips. That I will just buy them. I will do a pregnancy test every month. I never get tired of doing a pregnancy test. When you're on this journey, you just want to fall pregnant. And each time you see your period, you kind of like murmur to yourself. You're just talking to yourself like, what is going on? Why do you keep coming? It is such a hard journey. Trust me, if you've ever been there, then you can relate to what I'm trying to tell you. So on that fateful day, like I said, I came back and I was feeling terrible, and I just knew it was the fact that I was on that 3 days water fast. That is what is making me, so tired. And when I was about to go to the bathroom, and something told me, my period is late. It was late for about 5 days now. It was not an issue for me. It was not a concern for me, because sometimes there are times where my period's late, and it's not because I'm pregnant. Yeah, it's because maybe my hormones are kind of like, affected and things like that. So I was not even thinking about the fact that my period was late. Basically, my period was late for about 5 to 6 days, almost 6 days. So I thought to myself, my period has never been this. Has never been late for this long. Highest is 3 days and maybe 4 days, but not 5, 6 days. So I just said to myself, well, I had one last pregnancy test strip that was remaining. So I was just about to take my bath. I just decided I was just going to do another pregnancy test, because I was used to doing it anyway. So I was not doing it that day, thinking that I just did it like I normally, So I went and I did the pregnancy test that night, and I looked at the test strip. I was like, oh, Jesus Christ. I did the urine sample thing, that I dipped the pregnancy test into the test strip into my urine, and I looked at it, and God, I saw 2 lines. Girl, I saw 2 red lines. I had to scream the hell out. So my husband was on a call, and he ran to the bathroom. He was like, what is going on? Are you okay? I was on the floor. I was just singing praises to God. I was just, sorry guys. It is just a situation that when I think about it, it's so emotional. In my life, I've never thought for a day that I was going to struggle to fall pregnant. So it happened to me like a miracle. So I'm really so sorry, guys. It's something that I don't normally talk about. None of my friends know, just few of my friends knew I was going through something like that, because I just had to keep it to myself. So I just screamed. I could not believe it. I could not believe I was pregnant after, struggling for 2 years. And I just went down on the floor. I was just singing and giving praises to God. My husband came and he was like, "What is going on?" I said, "I was just singing glory to God. I was just thanking God. I was I was just overwhelmed. I did not know how else to, what else to do. I just started praying and thanking God. I was just singing praises, and my husband was like, "Are you okay?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm fine." I just so sorry, guys. Just that each time I talk about this topic, I get so emotional about it. Like, yeah. So I just turned around and told my husband I am pregnant. So I just showing him the test strip, and he could not believe it. So at that point in time, just there, he just joined me on the floor and we started singing praises. We just started thanking God. We just praising God and giving him all the glory. So at that point in time, I was just saying that God is a miracle God. You know, by the time you think that everything is over for you, but for God, he has just started with your situation. So I could not believe it. I was thinking about my procedure that was supposed to take place that same month on the 19th. That was the 10th of February, and I was supposed to go for that operation for that laparoscopy procedure on the 19th of February. And it happened that I was pregnant on the 10th. Basically, I was doing the water fast. I was already pregnant by then, but I did not know I was pregnant. So guys, it happened that I was pregnant, and I could not believe my eyes. So I decided I was going to share this story. I did not know I was ever going to come out and share my story, but I just thought of it and I said, when I was struggling, trying to fall pregnant, I was on YouTube, reading other people's story, and I was so consoled by their story. They gave me hope to keep trying. So I decided I was going to share my story just to encourage someone out there. If you are on this journey of trying to conceive, believing God for a child, I just want to tell you, your day is coming. There is going to be a light at the end of the tunnel. Trust me. It is not the end for you. Your time is coming. So never mind what people say. Never mind what they're going to talk. What they are going to say about you. People are going to give side comment. Families are going to be on your neck. No matter the situation, just keep believing God. Just keep believing God, because your day is coming. No, it doesn't matter what the doctors tells you. Maybe the doctors have told you it's never going to be possible. I am telling you right now that the ways of man are not the ways of God. So when God says yes, no one can say no. So if you are on this journey, I just want to tell you that keep hoping and never give up. Keep trying. And I also want to advise you that maybe I think it is time for you to, just look at yourself, try to change your way of life, your when I talk about your way of life, like what you eat, your diet, and maybe get into some kind of exercise, try to change your routines, do some exercises and just do something different. It could really help. So basically, I think the two things that finally make me to fall pregnant that God actually used, because at the end of the day, guys, it is the will of God. Nothing else. It is the will of God. But as we all know, God works through people. God used other people, to do his miracle for us. So the two things that God used for my situation was the fact that he murmured to me that I should get into that weight loss journey, and the herbs the woman sent, my mother-in-law sent to me. Because as soon as I finished drinking those herbs, I I fell pregnant. So guys, I just want to encourage you to keep hoping. If it could happen for me just before I could go for my laparoscopy operation, it could as well happen for you. You never know. Maybe you have been booked for that same procedure. Girl, trust me, just keep hoping, keep believing God. There's going to be a light at the end of your tunnel. Trust me. Someday, you're going to give your testimony. I am super, super excited because I'm a mom of two now, and I ended up not going going for that procedure. I remember I was called by my doctor just to know he called me about 3 days before the procedure. By then I'd not told him I'm pregnant yet, just to reassure me, because I was kind of nervous, like I told you guys before from the beginning about the procedure. So my doctor just called, that gynecologist just called me just to reassure me, to give me assurance that it was going to be a smooth procedure. So I just left him, to go ahead. He said everything he had to say, and I said, Doc, do you know what? I got a message for you. I got a good news for you. He just paused, like, don't tell me you're pregnant. I was like, yeah, I am pregnant. And he was like, wow, I told you it was gonna happen someday. I was like, Doc, I cannot believe it. So he was so happy for me. So I said, I'm not going to be coming for that procedure, but I just want to thank you for your help. I just want to thank you for all your concern and everything you've done so far. Thank you so much for all what you're doing for women out there, for families out there who are believing God for the fruit of the womb. I just thank the doctor, and from then we just became best of friends, and up to today we're still talking, we're still communicating. He always called me to find out about the baby, and when I gave birth to my little girl, I called him, I told him. He was so excited, and he was so happy for me. So guys, I just want to congratulate every woman out there, all the women out there who are believing God. It is not easy when you're trying to fall pregnant and it is not happening. It is heartbreaking. It is frustrating. I understand, because I've been there for just 2 years, and I try to imagine, those who have been believing God for the fruit of the womb for a very long time. I want to tell you that, your time is coming. God is taking his time, and he's arranging, he's fixing, he's molding your baby for you. Don't be in a hurry. Yeah, don't be in a hurry. I will not tell you to try and get your mind off it, because it was something I could not do. I could not get my mind off the fact that I was not able to fall pregnant. So try, and change maybe your diet, get into some kind of exercise. And I promise I'm going to do another video. I'll be showing you those herbs that my mother-in-law sent for me. Remember, I'm in the UK, and those herbs came from Cameroon. So I got a friend who she's really depending on me to get those herbs, because she's also struggling to fall pregnant. So I'm struggling to kind of see whether my mother-in-law could send it. The herbs are there quite all right, but the issue now is who is going to bring them now to the UK. So if you're out there, you're struggling to fall pregnant, and you need these herbs, and you got someone in Cameroon who is coming to the UK, just let me know about a month before, so that I can talk to my mother-in-law, and then she will be able to send those helps to you. Meanwhile, when you're drinking them, you can as well, get into some kind of exercise, try to change your diet like I did, and things like that. And remember, we are all different. Our systems are different. Our bodies are different. So I want to wish you guys all the best. If you are on this journey of trying to conceive, I want to wish you the best of luck. And I want to say, you are going to have your baby. You are going to carry your baby. It doesn't matter if you've had a child before, or maybe you've never had a child before. I want to wish you all the best of luck as you continue this struggle, because it is indeed a struggle. So guys, that was my story, and I believe, if you're going through the same thing, I don't mind if you're happy to share your story down in the comment section, then you're more than welcome to do so. I'm happy to read your story, and don't hesitate to also, leave in the comment section if you want me to, if you really want the herbs that I took. Don't hesitate, even though it is very difficult, if there's nobody coming from Cameroon, but we could always try to figure a way out on how to get the herbs to you. So I wish you all the best. Stay tuned. And if you're new to my channel, what are you waiting for? Please go ahead and hit that red subscribe button and subscribe to my channel. In fact, it is not just a channel here, it is a family, because we look after each other on this platform. We advise each other, we look after ourselves and things like that. So if you're new to my channel, please go ahead and subscribe to my channel, so that you will be notified each time I upload my videos. You will it will get to you as soon as I upload them. So thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for being there. Thank you. Ciao, ciao. Bye. Love you.